Hi, hello everybody. We're of course going to wait to give it a few minutes to give people a chance to come in. Hope everybody's had a good week thus far. As we're waiting around, we'll just I'll get to what's on tap in a few minutes here. Let's see, Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Come on, Scooby Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you're shaking. All right, so what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna actually put some rock music on here to go take care of some things here, and then when I come, as we continue to wait for people to come in, and while I'm gone, let's see, I'm gone. I'll, as I said, have some rock music on. Be right back. Wait. All right, we're back. Oh, somebody commented. Hello. I'm just dropping by to say hi, hello, good and everyone. Um, health sanitizer. All right, well, thank you, Mr. Tamiya. I hope if you can like and share the stream at least, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated as well. Um, yeah, just hopefully you can, hopefully you come back and check more of the content out. Um, all right. Oh, anyways, um, We're just waiting for more people to show up, as it were. Okay. Anyways. Scooby Dooby Doo, looking for you. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? All the stars are here, waiting for you. Couldn't have a show without you. Scooby, Scooby Doo. Hey Scooby, where are you? Over here. Hello, you fool, I love you. You wanna join the joyride? Join the joyride, yeah. All right. So, anyways, what's on tap for tonight? Let's see. Actually, we're coming up on 7 minutes here. Um, coming up on 7 minutes here. So, yeah, I'm gonna check something one more time here. I'll be right back. I will put some music on while I'm gone. Gotta just go check them real quick. All right, here we go. Hey, Woody. Thanks for popping in, my friend. All right, so I guess all that. Let me go ahead and talk about what's on tap for tonight. We're gonna go over a couple articles from Bounding into Comics, and then thank you for the likes and shares, by the way. That help get the word out a bit. So what's on tap for tonight? Well, we got some news about Shonen Jump as their Queen of Comedy makes anime debut and first trailer for Me and Roboco. Also, Voyage Comics will be presenting a new book. Also, also of course, we'll be doing the wrestling roundups and this day in history. And then as time permits, I may even just do some random articles from CDR as well. So, with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and get started? Alrighty then. So, let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so here we go. Ah. Shonen Jump's Queen of Comedy makes anime debut in first trailer for, in smaller quote, Me and Roboco. Article about Nerdigans published yesterday. Um, anyway, so here we go. After months of waiting, the first trailer for the upcoming anime adaptation of Me and Roboco has finally arrived on the scene, and with it, a preview of the titular heroine's legendary knees of action. Oh, look at that. And apparently, the way they draw her is very similar to Astro Boy. Lines along the eyes there. Premiering on November 13th, which was this past Sunday, and shared on to Twitter by series creator Shuhei Miyazaki himself. The first teaser trailer for Me and Roboco highlights the series' eponymous lead, Roboco. That's that robotic girl right there, I guess. In the world of Me and Roboco, household androids named Ordomaids have become a popular purchase in society, with many humans buying one to help with their everyday household tasks. One day, a young boy named Bondo Kyra asked his mother to get one such android for the house, um, mainly in the hopes of getting to spend time with a cute robotic girl. uh, and I guess that's kind of reminds me of a couple of situations. Let's see, Chobits had a very similar Chobits had a very similar premise. I know there was actually also an episode of Batman Beyond um, that also kind of dealt with the idea of purchasing robots as like servants, companions, what have you. So, anyways, however, though his mother eventually acquiesces to his request, Bondo is shocked to find that instead of a standard cute model, his family has received Roboco, a powerful, muscular, and exceedingly odd type of order maid. Hmm. There she is right there. From that day forward, Bondo and his friends find themselves caught in a whirlwind of random adventures, mishaps, and even fights with would-be world conquerors, all of which regularly poke fun at Shonen Jump's various other manga offerings. So, well, they did say this was a gag manga. For example, one running joke throughout the series is that Roboco's knees are so muscular that they're often compared to the bald-headed appearance appearance of Dragon Ball's Nappa. Hence, her giving them the apt nickname of Nappa knees. That's kind of a interesting name. Oh boy. Unable to let such a meta opportunity go by, Miyazaki took advantage of the trailer's release in typical Roboco fashion by including it as a central plot point in the series' latest chapter. uh, at one point in the chapter, um, Roboco explains to Bondo that she is learning the ins and outs of TikTok in order to help the series chances of getting a live action Hollywood adaptation. Talk about breaking the fourth wall there, huh? A seeming swing at Avengers Endgame directors, the Russo brothers, recent claim audiences today have been trained by TikTok. Okay. There's Bondo right there. Already uploading her own content, Roboco is aspiring to become just as much of a viral simping sensation as Chainsaw Man's Makima. Um, a bit confused as to her goals, Bondo nonetheless encourages her to chase her dreams. Because she's breaking the fourth wall. The next day, Roboco tells Bondo that after spending hours struggling to get views on the platform, she finally manages to master the art of internet virality by quote unquote upping her game with the help of some quote unquote pros. And by quote unquote pros, Roboco means Shueisha and Studio Gallop, as the order maid reveals that she leaked the above trailer in order to gain views. Oh, that must have made them real happy, right? Understandably shocked, Bondo warns her that she can't leak the trailer, even if she is the protagonist of the series. So confused as to what she did wrong, Roboco is let off with a simple warning from Bondo. Quote, don't blame me if you get hate for posting spoilers. Unquote. However, in Roboco's point of view, such hate would be beneficial. I guess Roboco is taking the idea of any publicity is good publicity, right? There is no such thing as bad publicity. I guess that's her mindset. I guess. That quote that'll just boost those numbers even more. Unquote, she includes. Me and Roboco's 5-minute long episodes will begin kneeing their way onto screens on December 4th. Okay, kneeing. That's funny. Uh, wonder if she's the master of the knee lift, much like Mr. Wrestling 2. All right, so there we go with that one. All right, so anyways, um, let's see now. All right. All right, so before we do move on, I do need to go off camera here one more time for a quick sec before we get into get into this next article here. I'll be back and put some music on. Just gotta go off camera here for a quick second. And I'm back. Let's get on to this next article here. And from here, we'll go ahead and I'll use some more random articles from, um, from PBR. All right, so Wedge Comics presents new book about teen on path to sainthood. In small quote, digital disciple Carlo Acutis and the Eucharist, small quote, article by J.D. Augustine published earlier today. A modern figure on the path to sainthood in the Catholic Church now has his own comic book telling his life story. It's from a publisher specializing in this sort of tale based on actual events. Voyage Comics, the independent imprint known for their single issues and miniseries about fantasy history, obscure religious luminaries, and Catholic life. The comic is called Digital Disciple, Carlo Acutis and the Eucharist, and pertains to the life of Blessed Carlo Acutis, an Italian teen who liked computers, games, web design, superheroes, and miracles of the Holy Eucharist. Devoted as he was, Carlo created a site to teach and show viewers Eucharistic miracles documented around the world. Quote, meet Carlo, an Italian 15-year-old computer geek who loved superheroes and video games, but most of all, the Holy Eucharist. Unquote, reads Voyage's description. Quote, this action-packed comic book highlights the final years of Blessed Carlo Acutis' life and how he became a digital disciple, creating a dynamic website and stunning display that taught others about the many remarkable Eucharistic miracles around the world. Wow, so he passed on? Me just gonna. Wow, the way they're making it sound like he actually passed on. Let's take a look here, see what's going on. Carlo Acutis. Oh yeah, he was born in 1991 and then died in 2006. So he was like 15 years old. Okay, so was an English-born Italian Catholic youth, an amateur computer programmer who is best known for documenting Eucharistic miracles around the world and cataloging them onto a website which he created for his death from leukemia. Okay. He was noted for his cheerfulness, computer skills, and deep devotion to the Eucharist, which becomes the core theme of his life. He was um, beatified on the 10th of October 2020, 2 days before the 14th anniversary of his death. So, wow. Okay. Wow. uh, he was born in London and then passed away in Italy. Okay, so getting back to the article here. Wow. Learn something new every day, right? All right, so here we go. Continuing on here. Let's see. I think we did get all right. It continues, quote, readers will be captivated by Carlo, a likable teenage boy who continues to inspire the world by his simple life and extraordinary example of holiness, unquote. And readers can learn and be captivated singularly or in small groups as bulk orders of the 30-page read are available for classroom-sized settings and similar venues regardless of your preferred form of schooling or schedule. Born in 1991 in London, Italian youth Carlo Acutis lived in Milan most of his life, where he built his site and online presence. He was diagnosed with leukemia as a teen and offered up his suffering from the fatal illness to the Lord Jesus Christ, his church, and the Pope at the time, Benedict the 16th. Acutis died at the age of 15 on October 12th. His feast day, his feast day, his feast day in 2006, and was buried in Assisi, Italy, the home of Saint Francis. His cause for canonization started in 2013, achieving the status of venerable in 2018 and becoming a blessed one step from sainthood in 2020. Often called the cyber apostle, quote unquote, uh, Blessed Acutis ardently prayed the rosary and attended Mass. His life and times, as retold, Digital Disciple, are available in both print and digital PDF forms from Voyage, which is selling the book directly through their website at a price of $6.99. Bulk order discounts, as mentioned, are available for parishes, churches, and nonprofit groups. Orders of $45 or more will get free shipping. Digital Disciple, Carlo Acutis, and the Eucharist. All right, so there we go. There we go with the two main articles for tonight. We're gonna go ahead and consider we got done with those two in like and probably say about 20 minutes or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on over to CBR and look over there at what we can find to talk about there. Let's go down. Let's first go through some of the comics because that's manga. Because I thought that's manga there, of course. Yeah. All right, so we'll hit this one up first. This one is more of a manga area, but that's okay. Dragon Ball Super manga returns the new arc in December. The new arc of the Dragon Ball Super manga begins in December, serving as a prequel to the recent anime film Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Article by Noah Dominguez, published 19 hours ago. Because there's no spoilers here, and that doesn't look like it. So, go ahead and put this article in. A new story arc for the Dragon Ball Super manga begins in December with the publication of Chapter 88. According to an official magazine advertisement, presumably taken from Shueisha's V-Jump, the Dragon Ball Super Chapter 88 is due for release on December 20th. The chapter being oh, I think that's supposed to be begins actually. I think there's a typo right there. The chapter begins a brand new arc, which serves as a direct prequel to the events of the anime film Dragon Ball Super Superhero, which premiered earlier this year. This new arc evidently focuses heavily on the duo of Goten and Trunks, with Gohan and Piccolo also set to be key players. Goten and Trunks, huh? Hmm. Written by the legendary Akira Toriyama and illustrated by Taro, Dragon Ball Super originally launched in 2015. The manga serves as a follow up to Toriyama's original Dragon Ball manga, which ran for 519 chapters split across 42 volumes from 1984 to 1995. So let's see, 519 divided by 42. So let's see, 173 divided by 14. That's about 12 plus 12 plus chapters per volume to date. Dragon Ball Super has published 87 chapters in V Jump, with the first 84 chapters being collected into 19 tankobon volumes. So 84 to that would be about 4.5, I'd say. Maybe just shy 4.5 chapters a volume. Dragon Ball Super's new arc leads into Superhero. Like Dragon Ball before it, Dragon Ball Super received an anime adaptation which ran for a total of 131 episodes from 2015 to 2017. A feature film, Dragon Ball Super Broly, premiered in theaters in 2018. It was followed up by a sequel of the aforementioned Superhero, which bowed in Japan this past June, um, before getting a worldwide release in August. Ah, all right. Quote: The Red Ribbon Army was once destroyed by Son Goku. Quote: Son, as it were, is just simply a Chinese name. It doesn't mean like Son as in like how we would normally mean it in English. The official synopsis for the recent feature reads, quote, individuals who carry on its spirit have created the ultimate androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. These two androids call themselves superheroes, in quotes. They start attacking Piccolo and Gohan. What is the new Red Ribbon Army's objective? In the face of approaching danger, it is time to awaken superhero, unquote. In addition to being the second film to carry the Dragon Ball Super branding, Superhero is also the 21st Dragon Ball anime film overall. The film was a considerable box office success, as we talked about yesterday in the article about Toei Animation's financial situation. Earning $124.6 million worldwide to become the second highest grossing Dragon Ball movie ever, behind Broly. That said, Superhero managed to top Broly in the United States. Yeah, probably because a lot of fans. Actually, it topped Broly. So, okay, never mind. But so with that, we're done with that article. So we're get ready to move on to the next article then. All right. Sealy team for Image. All right. So apparently, Image has a new series here that maybe we should take a peek at here, or see. Let's just make sure not. Nope, doesn't look like no spoilers. All right. So, anyways, exclusive. Fleeks and Sealy team for Image's new noir superhero series, Local Man. CBR can exclusively announce Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks are teaming up for a brand new noir superhero series from Image Comics, Local Man. Article by Brandon Schwer, published 9 hours ago. Okay, so let's take a look here and see what's up with this. CBR can exclusively announce Tony Fleeks and Tim Seeley are teaming up for a new Image Comics series, Local Man. Local Man is a new ongoing series from Tony Fleeks and Tim Seeley, launching at Image Comics in February 2023, combining elements of raw crime noir and superhero action. Local Man follows a retired member of the super team as he returns home to live with his parents before getting involved in a hard-boiled detective case. Publisher said of the series, quote, each issue of the series will be a classic Image Comics in smaller quotes flip book format with a lead story drawn by Fleeks and a superhero flashback into the depths of the Image universe drawn by Seeley. The premiere issue will contain 30 pages of story content for only $3.99. Once the star recruit of the media sensation Super Team 3rd Gen, Jack, quote-unquote, Cross-Jack Xavier, had it all. But when controversy sends him crawling back to his mom and dad's basement in the Midwest, Jack struggles to fit into a world he left far behind. And then the bodies start piling up. Unquote. Here are some of the panels. It covers a CBR exclusive preview of Local Man number 1 sees Crossjack jumping into action alongside his team. Although the hero seems to have little idea as to why they're actually fighting against, or as to what they're fighting against. He's later seen having an awkward reunion with his parents, who are unimpressed with his foul language and impolite mannerisms. Much to his surprise, Jack also sees his dog Pepper is somehow still alive, despite being well up there in age. Local Man is about 90s superhero nostalgia. Seeley said Local Man blends a number of different tones together to provide a unique experience for fans and readers. Quote, Local Man is Tony and I teaming up to make a comic book that combines what we love about 90s superheroes with our shared affections for crime and horror stories, unquote, he explained. Quote, part Extreme Studios, part Vertigo Comics. It's a story about love and loss and ego and murder, most foul. But it's also about nostalgia and promises not fulfilled. With lots of gritted teeth and epic head punches, unquote, Fleeks added. Quote, we wanted to try and make something that captured what we loved about the explosive early Image Comics, while also telling a personal small town crime story. Sounds cool, right? Cybernetic limbs, telekinetic blast, and pickup trucks. Local Man number 1 features cover art by Seeley, Fleeks, and Brian Reber. The issue releases in comic book shops and on digital platforms on February 22nd, 2023 from Image Comics. Alright, so there we go with that one. Anyways, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment, so I'll be right back here. I'll put on some music while I'm gone. And I'm back. Okay. Anyway, let's see if we can find some more information. Go over. This one sounds a little bit interesting. Let's see what's going on here. Missouri law bans X-Men, Walking Dead, Watchmen, Batman from schools. Approximately 300 books and graphic novels, including Batman, Watchmen, and X-Men, have been banned from at least 11 Missouri school districts. Article by Brendan Schwer, published 8 hours ago. The Missouri law has banned approximately 300 books and graphic novels, including Batman, Watchmen, The Walking Dead, and more, in schools across the state. Roughly 297 books have been either completely banned or banned for review in at least 11 school districts within the state of Missouri, according to PEN America. The ban comes in response to Missouri Senate Bill 775, which went into effect in August and makes providing students with novels that contain quote unquote sexual conduct a Class A misdemeanor. Novels and graphic novels targeted by the ban include A Game of Thrones, the graphic novel series, The Handmaid's Tale, the graphic novel, The Complete Moss, A Survivor's Tale, Genderqueer, a memoir, memoir, Watchmen, American Gods, and many more. The ban also targets comics such as Batman, The Killing Joke, Batman White Knight, Batman The Dark Knight Strikes Again, X-Men Age of X, and The Walking Dead. Authors and artists respond to Missouri's book ban. Well, the thing about it is, okay. Is it a complete ban? Does the ban affect K through 12, K through 8, K through 5? Just how extensive is the ban? You know, I can understand them maybe not, let's say, making the ban for elementary or K through 5, K through 5th grade, maybe even going as far as making the ban for up through middle school, K through 8. But high school, now that they do it K through 12, then that might be going a little too far. But anyways, let's go ahead and check this out. So, in response, a number of authors and artists, including Lori Hulse Anderson, M.T. Anderson, Margaret Atwood, Durf Backdurf, Allison Bechtel, Khalil Bendib, Matt Bohr, Ellen Crenshaw, Mike Carato, Juno Dawson, Evan Dorkin, Neil Gaiman, Roxane Gay, Deborah Hopkinson, Miles Hyman, Kelly Jensen, Lita Judge, Rupi Kaur, Maya Kobabe, Lois Lowry, Carmen Maria Machado, Dylan McConis, Ryan North, David Small, Amir Sultani, Art Spiegelman, Colleen A.F. Venable, wrote an open letter to Missouri schools and districts protesting the book bans. A portion of the letter reads, quote, "These bans represent a grave threat to the freedom to read, much to the detriment of the students across the state. These bans have been enacted largely in reaction to a provision in Senate Bill 775, which makes the distribution of material deemed quote unquote harmful to minors to students in Missouri by any school official, educators, librarians, student teachers, coaches, or by any visitor to a school. A misdemeanor punishable by fines or jail time." Well, again, but what they're talking about is the comics that have, so they're specifically targeting like comics that would have like sexual conduct in the books. Um, you know, and again, I would even argue that depending upon the age rate, I mean, high schoolers maybe could read some of that stuff and be okay with it, but middle school and under probably no. That's probably why they enacted the ban. They just don't want their students exposed to that before they're ready. You know. So, what is the definition of harmful? Who decides? The new law focuses on in smaller brackets visual depictions and in smaller quotes sexual material, and some school boards and officials have interpreted it broadly, removing an astounding range of material, dozens of graphic novels and comics, books with photography, memoirs, and books about art history. In the 10 weeks since the provision went into effect, at least 11 school districts have banned over 300 books. Several districts banned books from their libraries permanently. In one district, over 200 books came off library shelves for an indeterminate period of quote unquote review. A full list of titles targeted by the ban can be found here. The authors and artists open letter to can be okay. Well, here my argument again is okay. The schools are in a kind of a tough position because they didn't do something. The parents might have, depending upon, the parents might have been complaining about it, right? Because there are a lot of parents out there that maybe don't want their children exposed to certain things. You know, like one of the books they did talk about here that was banned was Batman: The Killing Joke, which was the very, whether you want to say famous or infamous issue where Joker beat beat Jason Todd to death, right? Now, granted, why I think a high schooler could more than likely handle that content. It's a little more iffy if a middle school kid can handle it, and it's definitely not something that would be appropriate for an elementary school age kid. You know, um, schools are trying to obviously protect kids from being exposed to things before they're ready. You know, um, granted, some of the schools may have gone a little overboard, but it's ultimately you know, I mean, and as many of you know, who caught our Friday shows, when we look back at some, there were some stuff back in the golden age that some people might argue may not be entirely appropriate for kids. Now, granted, kids back in the 30s probably were considered more mature than they are now, in that, you know, their lifestyles were a lot different. They actually had to be more mature because a lot of 12, 13, 14 year olds were already going out seeking work here and there to help their families out, as their parents had to hold down jobs. So, you know, boys who were probably 12, 13, 14, 15 were going out working as well, while girls were staying home, taking over the household duties for mom in some of those situations. Now, granted, by the late 30s, that probably started, but still, So, anyways, there we go with that article. And again, I think it goes back to the idea of, okay, what's the scope of it? Okay, here's all right. Here's something we can dig into a little bit here. As we now just went past the 1 hour mark here. So, all right. So let's see now. Calvin and Hobbes Sunday strip art sells for nearly $100,000. Wow. An ultra rare Calvin and Hobbes strip, originally published nearly 35 years ago, has sold for a whopping amount of money on heritage auctions. Article by Jeremy Blum, published 4 hours ago. The Calvin and Hobbes Sunday comic strip has sold for a hefty $480,000 at auction. The strip, originally published on November 24th, 1987, so that's almost like 35 years ago. It'll be 35 years ago, 1 week from today, actually, was revealed in October on Heritage Auctions, which regularly puts rare comic art on the auction block. It comes from the collaboration of Lee Salem, longtime editor of Calvin and Hobbes, creator Bill Watterson, and shows Calvin and his anthropomorphic best friend rolling a wagon down a hill and attempting to travel into the future. In other words, increase your speed enough to where you can break the time barrier. The pair speculate on what awaits them, including, quote, flying cars and cities built on the clouds, unquote. After their descent, Calvin eagerly remarks that they technically did travel into the future. 2 minutes later than when they set off anyway. It's funny. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Calvin and Hobbes art hits the auction block. Calvin and Hobbes pieces are rare sights at auction. The Heritage Auction put the strip up alongside another drawing showing Calvin and Hobbes reading the newspaper, which sold for $120,000. Heritage Auction's vice president, Todd Hidnight, said that Watterson's work is virtually impossible to find, and the wagon strip was only available due to the, quote, unbeatable provenance, unquote, of Salem's family. Notably, the strip is signed by Watterson himself in purple ink and was given to Salem with best wishes. Quote, it is a well-known fact that Watterson has carefully held onto his original artwork, despite many generous offers to part with a strip, unquote. The description of the strip on Heritage Auctions reads, quote, obviously gifts of this sort were extremely selective, explaining the scarcity on the market. This Sunday features the beloved racing down the hill trope, be it on a sled or wagon, and also has a charming quote-unquote time travel element to it. The series often celebrated the tender joys and wonders of the world, as only a young child and their talking tiger, of course, not to be confused with Mr. Tawny Talkie from the world of Billy Batten's Captain Marvel, could experience it. All the hallmark elements of the most popular post-Peanuts comic strip are in full effect. Watterson's cartoony mastery is on incredible display throughout, further highlighted by Watterson's sensitive, intricate hand coloring, into which he obviously put a great deal of detailed work. Continuing on here. If anybody popped in recently, no. Calvin and Hobbes ran in various newspapers from 1985 to 1995, and Salem served in editorial positions at Universal Press Syndicate, which syndicated the comic. During its entire 10-year run, he retired in 2014 and died in 2019, and the strip was presented to Heritage Auctions by his daughter, Anita Salem. All right, so there we go with that one. All right, so we got through some good comic articles there. So I'm gonna go over and see if we can see if there's any animation articles, cartoon articles to go through. One big. All right. This sounds like an interesting article right here. How Family Guy has avoided becoming the target of cancel culture. Go ahead and take a look at that article, among others. Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see how shows like Family Guy, Simpsons, a lot of Mike Judge's stuff, how they all would avoid cancel. Family Guy's producers say the ability to separate fiction from the real world helps them avoid the quote unquote cancel culture discussion. Article by Jody Brown, published 18 hours ago. The creator and showrunners of the hit animated comedy Family Guy say the not so family friendly series consistently avoids the quote unquote cancel culture narrative because they and the show's viewers successfully separate fiction from reality. Executive producers Seth MacFarlane, Alec Sulkin, and Rick Apple spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about the show's success and their ability to successfully push buttons without running afoul of Fox or the masses watching. MacFarlane, who conceptualized the idea of Family Guy, um, and brought it to life, said outrage about the show is minimal from what he's seen. Peter Griffin and Brian Griffin and Lois Griffin are not actual people that you can find on social media because they don't exist. He said the supposed outrage, quote, the supposed outrage. I don't find it. I find a lot of it in the real world. I read a lot about it on Twitter, which is as much as we lend credence to. Statistically, very fringe. Most people aren't on Twitter. Ah, quote. Sulkin credited Family Guy writers for regularly coming up with edgy yet entertaining material that pushes all the right buttons. However, he has hailed Apple for his legalness to handle any potential issues with the network if raised. Quote, a lot of the credit goes to our writers who come up with funny edgy stuff all the time, unquote, Sulkin said. And a lot of credit goes to Rich, who, with his legal background, is uniquely qualified to fight network standards, notes. Apple, let's see. Apple compared Family Guy to other animated classics like The Simpsons and South Park, hinting people need to avoid taking things to heart when watching the interactions throughout the show. Quote, I think if you look at South Park and The Simpsons and our show, it's not a coincidence that they're all animated. And I think people's unquote outrage and willingness to take offense at anything is in a different world when they're animated characters, he said. Quote, to me, it's proof that people don't take such offense. Seems today that all you see. Let's see. Family Guy has never been afraid to step on proverbial toes. Um, Throughout its body of work, um, which spans over decades. Let's see. McFarlane's brainchild has courted praise for its hard hitting pop culture references and dark humor. However, the series has been an epicenter of controversy, including accusations of anti religious sentiments, its handling portrayal of domestic violence, and its mocking of various serious issues. Additionally, the show has faced a host of FCC complaints and condemnation from the Parents Television Council for its content. Despite the controversies and being literally canceled twice during its run, Family Guy continues its envelope pushing ways on Fox and has amassed great success throughout its run. Um, the animated series has won 23 awards um, to date, including multiple Primetime Emmy awards and the ASCAP Film and Television Music Award for Top Television Series in 2013. It also was nominated for a Grammy in 2012 for Best Song Written for Visual Media for Christmas Time is Killing Us by McFarlane and Bruce McGill. McFarlane promised a movie based on Family Guy series would happen at some point, though nothing has been announced as of yet. All right, there we go with that one. All right. So with that, let's see. All right, we're 17. Let's see if there's anything else here. All right, let's take a look at this one here. All right, Vincent D'Onofrio, reportedly voicing Kingpin in Spider-Man freshman year. A new report suggests that Daredevil star Vincent D'Onofrio is set to reprise his role as Wilson Fisk in the MCU animated series Spider-Man freshman year. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin may be getting the animated treatment in Spider-Man freshman year. According to the Cosmic Circus, the beloved actor is set to once again reprise his role as Wilson Fisk, working the menacingly powerful crime lord. The source that provided this information notes that Kingpin will feature in the series as a way to prompt Peter Parker, who's I guess being voiced by Tom Holland, to team up with Daredevil, who will be played by D'Onofrio's previous co-star Charlie Cox. It's worth noting that that the information has yet to be corroborated, let alone confirmed by Marvel Studios. So fans should take this with a grain of salt. D'Onofrio's portrayal of Kingpin in Netflix's Daredevil earned rave reviews from fans and critics alike, elevating the character to widely be considered one of Marvel's best adapted villains. Following the series' cancellation, many fans campaigned for the actor to reprise his role in a mainline Marvel Cinematic Universe production. The calls for D'Onofrio's return were eventually answered in the Disney Plus series Hawkeye, where it's revealed Kingpin has been quietly ruling New York's underworld. The villain is also expected to feature in the upcoming Echo series. And I believe he was actually, there was actually a story arc in Marvel, what was it, like a few months ago, maybe last year, where Kingpin had actually become mayor of New York and had basically outlawed superheroes. Kingpin's ominous return. Despite Wilson Fisk's apparent death at the hands of Echo in Hawkeye's finale, the villain will also return in Daredevil Born Again, once again going up against Cox's Matt Murdock. D'Onofrio hasn't been afraid to hype up the pair's future entanglement. Quote, truly looking forward to working with my friend Charlie again, unquote. D'Onofrio wrote, quote, I know I can speak for Charlie as well when I say we promise to bring you an incredible Daredevil Born Again. As for Spider-Man freshman year, the animated series will see Holland voicing the webhead, albeit in an entirely new format. Animated series will chronicle Peter Parker's early adventures as Spidey, effectively serving as the origin story of the current live-action iteration of the character, never received in the MCU. Many fans have questioned whether freshman year is canon to the events of the sprawling cinematic franchise, with Marvel responding that while the show takes place in the same universe, it's not a part of the core MCU. Spider-Man Freshman Year is currently slated to debut on Disney Plus in 2024, so 2 years away. Okay, Daredevil Born Again will arrive in the same year. So they're talking about stuff that's they're planning on bringing out 2 years from now. Okay. Wow, talking about getting a jump on something, huh? Okay, so hour 23. I'm going to try to see if we can finish at least the animated section here, see if there's anything more, and then probably start to wind down a bit here. All right, well, here's another story from, as another part of what we just talked about here. Spider-Man Freshman Year still on track for 2024 release. The new animated series, Spider-Man Freshman Year, is reportedly still slated for a 2024 release despite rumors that it may have been canceled. Article by Charlie Gregory, published 10 hours ago. So let's go ahead. Yeah. And at least the image that they're showing here with it is more indicative of a older art style there. There is hope yet for the upcoming animated series, Spider-Man Freshman Year. According to Cosmic Circus, the project is still set to premiere at some point in 2024. Some sources um, stating that it could air in the fall of 2024. Unquote. The outlet also addressed the rumors that the show may have been canceled, stating that it is, quote, just an idea, unquote, and is something that quote, may not be acted upon at all, unquote. Announced in November 2021, um, the show will have 2 seasons in total. Jeff Trammell will serve as head writer and executive producer, and it will lean heavily on the classic animated style of old. Hence what we saw up above there. Project will once more focus on the character's origins, looking closely at how Peter Parker became the web-slinging hero. Peter Parker will be joined in the series by another familiar face in Daredevil, with Charlie Cox set to return to his role as Matt Murdock. Other characters that Spider-Man fans will recognize are also set to pop up, including Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, Amadeus Cho, Pearl Pangan, Jean uh, Foucault, and Harry Osborn, who was Peter's best friend and eventually became the second Green Goblin. Nico Minoru from Runaways is also set to feature, but none of these names have been assigned voice actors yet. Aside from Cox, only Paul F. Tompkins is signed onto the project. He is set to co-star as a new character, Bentley Whitman, in both seasons of the show. Spider-Man Freshman Year won't tie into the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe, as it won't be set on Earth 616. Instead, Marvel Studios head of streaming, Brad Winderbaum, revealed that, quote, because of things that happen in the multiverse, the show will see the early days of Spider-Man from a fresh perspective. The series will take place before the events of Captain America Civil War, when the MCU's Spider-Man was first introduced to the audience in live action form. However, it will be a completely different reality from the one in the larger MCU. Rather than seeing Tony Stark as his mentor, for example, it is Norman Osborn who will tutor Parker in this series. This will allow for the introduction of new characters and storylines for the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Spider-Man Freshman Year is set to debut on Disney Plus. So there we go with that one. Okay, so the hour 20. So we're coming on hour 30 here. Let's see if there are any more in it. All right, so I think there's only one. I think we'll stop there. I think we will stop there with. All right, so let's see with the articles. All right, well, I need to step away one more time. I'll be right back. Put some music on for you guys while I'm gone. right, we're back. So, all right, so now we're gonna start up on the wrestling recap as let's see, as so first up, WWE, there's some talk of some impossible signings in the near future as Matt Cardona has indicated he might be interested in coming back. Laser says never say never. As many of you know, there's been rumors that Chelsea Green, his wife, is signing with the WWE and is returning to the company. Matt Cardona said never say never. However, he is not interested in coming back as Zack Ryder. So I think he believes with his time on both Impact Wrestling and NWA, he's kind of grown beyond that character. That would be my interpretation of his thing. Also, in other potential signing news, there's talk that Triple H is looking possibly also to bring back somebody who was fired in the WWE, Bronson Reed, who many fans, who if you've watched Impact or New Japan, probably know him as Jonah. Now, it's possible WWE has reached out to him, looking possibly to maybe bring him back, sign him again. However, he's got competing offers from New Japan. So that will have to wait and see how that all pans out. Now, in some AEW news, last night's Dynamite, which was go home Dynamite before it is, the go home Dynamite before Full Gear, which is this Saturday, had of course started off the show with the Blackpool Combat Club defeating the Jericho. So the tag duo of Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson from the Blackpool Combat Club defeating Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara of the Jericho Appreciation Society. You also saw in one of the semifinal rounds of the AEW title eliminator match, you saw Ethan Page defeat Bandito. The triple AEW Trios title was defended as Pac, as basically Death Triangle. Pac and the Lucha Brothers retained over AR Fox and Top Flight, the Martin brothers, Darius and Dante Martin. Now, of course, this was set up the situation, set up the match at this Saturday for Full Gear, in which Death Triangle will be defending the Trios title against the Elite. So let's see. What other matches? I think there were at least a couple other matches on there as well. Let's see. Yeah, Swerve Strickland defeated Anthony Bowens in a singles match. Setting, again in the lead up to their teams match for the AEW tag title match. And the main event saw Toni Storm retain the AEW interim women's championship over Anna JS from the Jericho Appreciation Society. And her lead up to Jamie Hayter. Of course, you also had Saraya and Britt Baker kind of go off on each other a bit in a promo, in which, in this case, Britt Baker kind of, taking offense to Saraya calling her out for baloney because, claiming, well, I am the one who sat here and built this company. I built this women's division. It's my women's division. I'm the top dog. I know why you're coming after me. Yeah, well, Saraya has been in the business for a long time too, and that's, I think, her point. I mean, Britt Baker says she respects her, yet she doesn't really act like she respects her. So, and of course, MJF and Jon Moxley also had a confrontation. I think even before the show started, you had a confrontation between Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Wardlow, which also involved the Firm. Well, no, that Firm actually came out later. Sorry, that in terms of having the entire AW locker room come out and try to keep the three men separated from get them separated from each other. So, although even though I didn't put it in my tags, I forgot about Impact, because Impact has, of course, Overdrive tomorrow. The main event will see Josh Alexander defending the Impact World Title against Frankie Kazarian, who of course exercised option C as being being the most recent person to have won the X Division title. He decided to exercise option C to get a title shot at Alexander. You also have the tag team championships on the line as Heath and Rhino defend against the major players, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. And Myers, of course, looking to get gold again. He recently dropped the Digital Media Championship to Joe Hendry. You also are going to have tomorrow night, let's see, the finals of the X Division tournament will be happening tomorrow night at Overdrive. To crown a new champion, crown a new champion after its vacancy. Let's see. The Death Dolls will be defending the Impact Knockouts tag titles against Samantha Evans and Tasha Steelz. Let's see. You have Bully Ray taking on Moose. So that's all of that. Anyways. Well, hello. It looks like somebody else has joined us. Hello. Thank you for popping in. See that we have another person in here. Of course, we're about to wrap up here. If you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, or at least watch the even in the replays. That'd be appreciated. Anyways, so now we're done with the wrestling wrap up. So we're gonna go ahead and focus in on this day in each history as we start to wind down. Hey, Woody, you're back. I saw you were on earlier. Thank you for popping back in. Oh, Woody, you're back just in time for this day in each history. Let's see, 2017, 2012. Okay. With all that being said and done, today being Thursday, November the 17th, 2022. Why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this day? And yes, I'm going to niche it up. This day in niche history. History! All right, so with that, all right, time to niche it up here. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in niche history. So today being Thursday, November 17th, the first thing we're going to go back 80 years ago today is on this day, 80 years ago today. The first issue of Real Funnies from Standard Comics went on sale on this date back in 1942, 80 years ago today. Of course, Standard, I think, was known more for family-friendly titles, I believe, from what little I've seen or read about it. So on this date, back 80 years ago today, um, the first issue of Real Funnies went on sale on this date 80 years ago today. So with that, move on to the next piece of niche history as we move up to this date 15 years ago today. On this date 15 years ago today, from the American Legion Hall at Hellertown, Pennsylvania, Chikara would hold its The Sordid Perils of Everyday Existence event on this date from the American Legion Hall in Hellertown, Pennsylvania. Main event saw a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the Chikara Campeonatos de Parejas, which I believe is Spanish for Tag Team Championship. A tag team of Incoherence, Delirious, and Hallowicked would retain the titles over Cheech and Cloudy 2 falls to 1. Also, you saw Chris Hero defeat Equinox in a mask versus hair match. Let's see. Helios retained the Chikara Young Lions Cup over Fire Ant. Let's see. Claudio Castagnoli would defeat Miyawaki. Let's see. Let's see. Mitch Ryder, Robbie Ellis, and Team Fist, Gran Akuma, and Icarus would defeat Mike Quackenbush, Super Smash Brothers, Player Uno, and Superfied, and Tim Domst. So there you go. On this date, back in 2007, 15 years ago today, Chikara would have its sordid perils of everyday existence event that they would hold on to. Also on this date in 2012, so 10 years ago today. 10 years ago today, distributed by Toei Company, Studio Kara's Evangelion 3.0, you cannot redo, hit Japanese theaters on this date 15 years ago today. On this date 15 years ago today, Studio Kara's Evangelion 3.0, you can not redo, hit Japanese movie theaters. So with that, let's also move on to the last piece of niche history. And on this date 5 years ago today, from Columbia Pictures, the computer animated biblical comedy film The Star was released in theaters on this date 5 years ago today. So on 5 years ago today, the U.S. premiere of the Columbia Pictures computer animated biblical comedy film The Star premiered on this date 5 years ago today. So with that, thank you guys for being here. Don't forget tomorrow night will be our weekly look back at comics history. We'll be finishing up June of 1939. Tim Olson will be my guest co-host. So I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow, and I will talk to y'all then. Bye.